Please excuse my fingers. I refilled my fountain pens today and I got ink everywhere. Hello my creative peeps and welcome back to my channel for another video. Today we're going over the planners I'm using for 2022. If you missed the video where I showed all of the journals that I'm using in 2022, I'll leave that linked in a card for you above. But today we're just talking about planners, and I actually don't have that many, so I'm excited to share with you. I did also get several questions on if I could show how I'm using my planner. If you don't know, I created a planner last year, and some people are feeling a little stuck with how they want to use theirs. So I'm going to show you the different ways I've used mine thus far. I'll also leave linked below a couple people who have shared how they're using theirs. I know Tammy Brackett has, and I believe Heather Mattern has as well. I know she did it on her Patreon. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube. I'll try to find that for you, but I'll leave those below in case you want a little extra information. So, before we get into that, let's just talk about these real quick. These are kind of like supportive planners to my main planner. I always have a finance planner or a budget planner of some kind. This is the one I'm using this year. It's called the Focused People. I'm not going to show you a ton of it because I've already started like filling it out and stuff, but basically you have some various like yearly spreads in the front with debt tracking and savings tracking, goal setting, things like that. Not too many, but some. And then you have 12 months worth of this. It's undated. Monday starts. You have like a calendar overview, which I just fill with like birthdays and like subscription things or things I have to pay quarterly or biannually annually so that I don't forget. It comes with like a monthly budget, income, fixed expenses, variable expenses. You get 2 expense sheets, but I track my expenses in my bigger planner, which we'll talk about in a second. It has a spending overview and then a monthly review by category. So I'm not going to give like a review. I don't know whether this is good or not. There's definitely some things that I've already like altered to try to fit my situation at the start of it, but finding a finance book that fits my needs is like super difficult. They're all like so the same and generic that I find. So if you have a good one that you'd like to recommend, please leave them linked below. I'd love to check that out. But anyway, that's my finance planner. Then in here, this is a traveler's notebook by Pocket Lily Covers. I don't think she makes notebooks anymore. But in here, I just have a couple of inserts. In the front, I have a bunch of index cards where I'm brainstorming the different lessons for my Creative Freedom journaling class that I'm teaching this year. So I'm just keeping like a running list of different topic ideas and things to go along with that on those cards. And then I have a insert. This one happens to be blank. These are from Michael's. I got them on discount forever ago. And I'm not going to show you in there, but I can show you last year's because I've obviously already posted all this stuff. But this is just where I keep track of like my brand fonts, different like cheat sheet things that I need for like when I'm creating stickers to make it all like the same size and all that fun stuff because I never remember anything like that. I write down everybody who's on my Patreon so that I can do that big thank you thing. I was putting the Take 5 things in here. I usually put down things that I have going into my Etsy shop. So like these are all my D-stash lots that I was doing. This was like a collab that I did. Patreon mailer notes, stickers that I released, stuff of that nature. And then I would have like an ideas thing in the back. Basically, it's just kind of a big log of everything I did on my Patreon and Etsy store for the month, as well as, for the year, as well as cheat sheets when I'm making different stickers, like designs and the sizing for that and stuff. So that's that. I wouldn't say a ton of planning goes into this. I do tend to have like an ideas section, as well as brainstorming different projects and things that I want to bring into the world. But for the most part in the past, it's been kind of more documenting what I put out. So I'm trying to get better at putting the planning stuff in there as well this year. But that's where that is. And I did leave the old one in there just because I like that it's a little chunkier and I can look back and see what I did. So that's my planner there. So let's move into my main planner, which is probably what you're all here for. So in case you don't know, before I open this, my planner that I created last year was the CreativelyFree2BMe planner. This is available in my Etsy store as well as on Amazon worldwide. It is a print-on-demand book, so it does come glue-bound like a book that you would get like to read. But you can, I've broken the spine on mine, so you can train it to lay semi-flat. Anywho, in here, I'll leave linked in the cards more in-depth video walkthroughs of the planner and stuff in case you want to check that out. But I did want to show you kind of how it's set up because I have taken mine apart and put it into a disc system. And because I did that, I moved some of the pieces around, which may be a little confusing unless you know, it may be confusing. That's all I have to say. So it's a 4-month planner. You have these pages in the front, year-long trackers, things to set your intentions, a little bit of information, pages for collections, future planning space, and then you have 4 months of these months. So you have a monthly overview, monthly intentions, remember this, and I use mine as a to-do list, and then you have the weeks, which are pretty unique. You'll see that when I flip through. And then you get to the end, you have your monthly reflection, like favorite style page, a couple of note pages with some celestial type decoration on them, a 31-day setup so you can track whatever you want. There are these check register style pages, which I use to track my expenses. And then you have a bunch of lined pages as well as blank pages until you get to the start of the next month. And like I said, that repeats for 4 months until the end of the book. So that's my planner. I took mine apart because it's glue bound. I took the cover off and I very carefully ripped off each of the pages. I will do a video on how I do it because I get asked about that and it can be a little complicated. I did learn a technique from Alexis over at Miss Trenchcoat. She also has a planner that she produced in a similar style that she showed how to take apart. So I'll leave that video linked in case you want to check it out. But I took mine apart and I use it in this disc-bound planner along with some other things, and I moved the pages around, which is why I wanted to show you that. Okay, so hopefully you're not extra confused. There we go. This is my main planner that I'm using for the year. This is my cover. I created it myself. It's kind of a vision board style. It's hard to see because of the glare and stuff, but basically it's just this what it is. It's my vision board. I have my word of the year on it and just different things that represent goals and various things that I'm working on this year. Opening it up, first off the bat, I just have this zipper pouch folder here with some stickers in it, some from my shop, some from other places. I made all the dividers and things myself, so this one says 2022. I have some of the front pages from my planner in here, so I have, you know, the This Notebook Belongs To page, some of the information from in the front. My intention and welcome letter, My year-long trackers, I use one for moon phases and my menstrual and intimacy tracker, and then I use the other one for body movement and alcohol intake. So that's how I use those. What I did when I set this up, because again, it's a 4-month planner, is I backfilled the previous 2 months, so September and October, and then I started this planner in November, so I put the 4 months that the planner would be for in here, because I like to compare over the past month, so that's kind of how I do that. These are the planning ahead, like future log spreads. I've never been too great at these. I was experimenting with something on this one and I didn't like it. It didn't work for me. So I'm not sure how I'm going to use this moving forward. But I know other people are finding this really helpful. So it's not something I'm going to like take out of the planner or anything. But I'm going to try to find a way to use this spread that works for me. Next, I have a card spread that I did when I turned 28, which was in November. So I have all that information there. I have a couple collections, like books I'm reading, books I want to read, projects I'm working on, and things like that. And then I have this divider here. I'm trying this thing this year where I live like seasonally and try to plan seasonally, which is another reason why my planner is split up into like a weird 4-month section. You can hear all about that again in the planner videos that I did. But I have my winter tab, and in here I just have some extra things that were some extra collections that were up at the front that I was done with, so I put them back here because I don't need them anymore, like Black Friday and stuff, which is past. And then I have December in here. So right now I have December through February. I try to keep the current month, the past month, and the future month in my planner at all times. For the purpose of this video, I am going to go ahead and show you November so that you can kind of see different ways that I've been using things. So this was the start of my planner in November. I did archive it with the rest of 2021, as I'll also put December in here when the time comes, but I just have my monthly overview here, monthly intentions, where just putting like goals and projects and things I want to work on for the month. This is my like miscellaneous November tasks. This was me working on videos and things like that. This is my remember, so I always put things I'm waiting on in the mail. But there was also reminders like my planner release was that month, which is super exciting. I had a task that I kept putting off, so I put it on there. I was working on adjusting to Chris's new work schedule. I needed to get my Jeep inspected. So just like, hey, this stuff needs your attention this month. And then these were my weekly pages. A lot of people don't know what to use this extra piece for, and I've used it for a bunch of different stuff. So my Monday through Wednesdays on this side, Thursday through Sundays on this side, then you have an extra notes piece here, a to-do list, and another notes piece here. So I use this column always for to-dos. This one I was working out a new like dinner and dishes schedule for Chris's new work schedule, since we kind of alternate cooking and things. I had to refigure that since he had a different schedule. This was just a little bit of journaling here. I put my meals at the bottom. This I used for random notes, ideas I had, a meal plan, notes on my tarot birth card that I was studying, a little bit of journaling about me turning 28, so just like a wrap up of my 27th year, which was fun. A little reminder myself, everything's gonna be all right. Things I wanted to buy for Black Friday, things I needed to do for Christmas that I was thinking about. That was a test page. Then we had monthly reflections, so I was reflecting on the things I did in November. And things that still needed to be finished. This is my favorites page, so I like to use it for things that I'm watching, reading, moments that I really enjoyed from the month, favorite foods of the month, just whatever. Reading notes, more card readings. This I did a NaNoWriMo tracker, so I did a challenge for myself in November that was loosely related to that, where I wanted to do some type of written journaling every day. So I used my 1 through 31 tracker for that. I had my transaction log for my finances, which you don't really need to see. I was working on Christmas gift ideas. I had a wish list going, which I should actually... I need to go back to this and kind of transfer some of these things over. I need to start a new wish list thing. So let's put a note there for myself. I was doing the scripting method for some days, so I was writing that in the extra pages. Yeah, that's all that I did for November. December, same thing. Monthly overview, intentions, things I'm focusing on, projects, things I want to do, how I intend to the month to go, things to focus on. December to-dos, these were my videos, things to film and edit, and I just had extra notes of things I wanted to do on the back. Remember this section this month looked like things I'm waiting on in the mail, and then things I needed to do for Christmas because it's December and that's what you have to do. And then sometimes I don't use these note sections too much, but I'd rather have them there than not have them, you know? So that month I just used it for random notes. Basically, the giveaway details and readings. I didn't use it much at all. A little bit of journaling notes. More notes, how I was feeling. Journaling about the final day of 2021. Reflecting on December. Supply favorites, things we were watching. A reading. I used my 1 through 31 tracker this month for good things or gratitude list, which I didn't keep up with, but I started it. The intention was there. My December transactions. I did a Patreon exclusive Q&A, which I was going to write in here, but then didn't. I have notes on the Creative Freedom journaling class that I was creating there. I did more scripting in the blank pages. These were pages that I took out of a different planner, which we'll talk about in a minute. But then we have January. So I hope you get the idea. These are kind of the things that I use the pages in my planner for. My planner is designed so that you have all of the boxes and things drawn out for you like a bullet journal, because that's kind of how I plan, is like bullet journal style in my own way, but I don't want to have to draw all the boxes and plan everything out. I want all the space and none of the work, basically. That's why my planner is so blank. It's so that you can make it suit whatever like fits your needs. So you have your space for intentions. You can use the pages for whatever you want, whatever you would use a regular planner for. And then you have all the notes pages in the back, whether you like to do your finance tracking, whether you're working on a specific project and you want to take notes on that. If you want to keep your journal and your planner together, you have space to journal in these extra pages. I often have pages that are still blank at the end of the month. You can't really tell with how I have my planner set up because I have those pages that I have moved to the end of the month so that I have extra note pages. That's one of the perks of using it in the disc system, is I can move things around. You have blank pages, and that's okay. I know that got a little sidetracked from the topic of showing you what I'm using for 2022, but I hope that that did help those that were asking about that, because I thought this would be a good video to do that in. So those are some different things I use my planner for. This is how January is looking. Again, monthly intentions. I wrote about what my word of the year meant to me for this specific month, my to-do list, my videos, other projects I'm working on, things to remember, things I have coming in the mail, and then my weekly spread. So I have my to-dos, my dinners at the bottom. I plan the same way no matter what book I'm in, so it's really Nothing earth-shattering. I like to use my Tombow markers in here to add like the color headers. This year I've started, or this month I started doing like little trackers on the side here. So I'm trying to keep track of my 5-year journaling. So I have like a little tracker there for that. Things I'm studying, which has to do with my larger goals for the year. I also have a nutrition log that I made for myself just to track how many fruits, vegetables, and whether I take my vitamins. And I don't always keep up with them. Some days I like don't even know what happened, but such is life, you know? That's just how it goes. So I have all of that in there. The monthly reflection I obviously haven't done yet. Things that I am watching and reading, a card reading I did for myself. I didn't use the 1 through 31 list for anything this month because I didn't feel I needed to. I have my transaction logs that I'm doing. I took notes on a podcast that I was listening to, so that's what I used the extra blank pages for. And then I have just blank pages and February in here. Just the monthly calendar. I haven't put any of the other pages in here yet because the planner gets like way too bulky, but there's that. And then I have a section for health. I was doing a more intense like tracker for my food intake. Not so much like I'm not on a diet or anything, but I just wanted to make sure that I'm getting like a balance of the things that my body needs. I'm usually pretty good about eating, you know, real fruits and vegetables and things like that. And we make pretty much all of our meals at home, but I just wanted to like have a check-in, you know? So I was using these pages. This is from a Clever Fox fitness planner, which I will leave linked below. They sent me a bunch of planners to take a look at and to share them with you if I wanted. I'm not really using any of them at the moment, but I did take this one apart to use in here. I used it for most of December, and then I just felt that I didn't need this whole thing going into January, but I might return to it at a later date. But basically, have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. You can track your mood, energy, activity, the hours you slept, water intake, whether you're like a special thing up here. You can have space for the time if you wanted to write down what time you ate. Activity that you did, a little blank spot for notes, priorities. And I was using this as like fruit, vegetables, fats, carbs, sugar. I changed fiber to sugar, and protein. So I kind of liked that I could just put a letter at the top and easily change the header and then just like check it off, whether I ate something in that category or not. So yeah, interesting. I liked having that for December. I'm not doing it so much in January. I'm doing those, just the fruit, vegetable, and vitamin thing. But it may be something that I return to in the future. And when I archive January, I'll probably just put these pages in with it. Instead, I just did like a big brain dump of my desires and body goals for the year, just how I want to feel, how I want my body to, you know, operate optimally, and things like that. So that's kind of what's in my health section. Then we have my syllabus section. You'll notice I didn't have a goals planner for this year that I was talking about, and that's because I kind of made my own. I'm going to talk about the planners that I used in 2021, and you'll notice that there were several goal systems in there that just didn't work for me. And I don't know if it's because I'm so self-motivated. or my brain works differently. I don't know. But I got this idea from Heather Matter, and I'll leave her linked below. She calls hers her PhD program, and hers is just like 1 or 2 pages where she just goes over her goals for the year. And I turned mine into a syllabus. And for those of you who may not have taken any classes that were like this, but in my college classes, at the beginning of the course, you get a syllabus, and it's like, here's where we're meeting. These are my office hours. This is how to contact me. These are the different things that we're studying. These are the homework assignments and the due dates, and this is how you're graded, with a big breakdown of that. And it's just like an overview of like, this is all this stuff that you need to know for this whole class for the entirety of it. So I thought it would be fun to do that for the year. So especially since I decided to try to break things down in terms of seasons for myself this year, I wrote, like, I started it on the computer, but I'm adding things to it as I go. I printed it out on big letter paper, 2 to a sheet. I ripped them in half, and then I did like an impromptu binding on it to hold them all together. But basically it's just like my intention for the year, location, my semesters are the seasons, and I outline the seasons in a way where it works for where I live, not like specifically the calendar seasons. Things I would do to reward myself, themes. I have an area for a bucket list, big projects of the year. So we're building a house and getting married this year, so I have a lot going on there. I have a section for each season where I've laid out the different things that I need to plan for that season. And for winter, you can see I broke down some of my specific goals that I wanted to work on for that. Notes and things. And then I have different sections. So like things that I want to create in terms of content, my spiritual practice, my home and my environment, mental and emotional health, Chris and Shadow, which is my fiance and my dog. My relational family, so family that I don't immediately live with, but like are close. My physical health, financial health and wealth, relational stuff like my online presence. And those are like my sections of goals, and I'm just taking it slow and working on this as I go. I started making this in November, and I'm looking forward to continuing to use it as a workbook throughout the year, adding to it, making my bucket list, reevaluating my goals when I need to, celebrating the things that I did accomplish, basically just like dreaming big and staying on course. So that's kind of my goal setting thing for the year. Then I just have a section back here for wedding planning. I did actually originally punch the goal planner and some loose pages that I was planning my doing my wedding planning in, but it just works better having separate books, especially since I know myself and I tend to flip-flop out of different things during the year. These are really things that I need with me throughout the year, so having them in a separate book allows me to carry them with me, and they actually don't fall out of here at all, which is great. So, and this is just a blank A5 insert. And then I have tabs which have the other seasons on them, which I will go ahead and switch out when the time comes. And that's pretty much it. I have some stickers stuck in the back here, but for the most part, that's the planner that I'm starting out 2022 with, which is basically my planner that I created, deconstructed, reconfigured, and with a couple extra inserts. So I hope that you guys found this interesting and helpful, and if you were looking for how to use different spreads, that was helpful for you. Again, I'll leave all those things I mentioned linked below, and if I forgot to link something, please let me know, because I'm notoriously bad at that. So I'm happy to get that for you if you just remind me. Let me know what planners you're using for 2022 in the comments below. I would love to hear all about it and check some of them out. Thank you so much to my patrons for sponsoring today's video. They help make what I do over here on YouTube possible while still paying my bills and feeding my dog Shadow. So thank you to them. They are rock stars. You guys are rock stars for watching. I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic start to 2022, and I will see you guys again soon. Take care, guys. Bye.